October 16th, 2010. The news today is that China is going to start its 5-year economic plan. The Fed says that it's going to increase its economic stimulus, which means print more money. France has said that it will be part of the NATO's nuclear anti-missile shield, and the EU has opened nuclear negotiations with Iran. As I said in my videos, that maybe the EU is trying to bring Iran in from the cold. Also, Russia and Venezuela have made a nuclear pact together, which will bring in Sukhoi fighter jets, a nuclear reactor in Venezuela, new social housing for Venezuela, all paid for by Russia, and cooperation in banking with a Venezuelan Moscow bank based in Moscow, as the name suggests. Also, a British NGO consultant has been taken hostage in Somalia. It's not yet clear whether that is done by Al Qaeda or some other group. Might be Islamia, an Islamist group who's associated with Al Qaeda, or maybe just bandits in Somalia. On the other issues of Afghanistan, Obama has said that he will open up talks with the Taliban. Now, is this a strategy to get the Taliban to come away from Al Qaeda and the Bin Ladens or not? I don't know. Maybe I disagree with negotiating with terrorists under any circumstances, but maybe Obama has a point. The EU is negotiating with Iran, which to Americans is a terrorist state, but to us, the Al Qaeda in Afghanistan is a terrorist state. In the last few days, we've lost over 15 troops. NATO troops have been killed, including a French officer just today. On the issue of French pensions, the French pension crisis, and why the world looks to French youth for leadership. Well, France is at the moment going through a crisis, an industrial crisis, where the unions could bring France to a standstill by cutting off the oil supply to major cities in France through a general strike. In France, it's not illegal to have a general strike for political reasons, unlike in Britain. We have lost that right because it was not asserted by the unions strongly. Now, how can they do this? They've already shut off the oil supply to the generators of the French airports in Paris. So they mean business. The unions mean business. So what has this got to do with French youth? Well, the crux of the crisis is because President Sarkozy is raising taxation for the poorest and the middle class in France, while the rich are being given a tax relief by the removal of the income tax shield, which prevents them from having to pay as high a rate of tax as the middle class. In fact, one of the richest heiresses in France only pays 18% taxation, while her employees are paying nearly 51%. Now, personally, to me, to pay 51% is immoral. To pay 50% is fair in taxation, because the state is providing half of your livelihood by securing you and protecting you from terrorists and other environmental disasters. As we've seen in Hungary with the toxic spill, there's been a clean-up there, and there needs to be a surplus of taxation money in the system to deal with disasters and have contingency plans, and to make NGOs which join up the different departments of government. That's why I was talking about joined up government in my previous vid on Britain and the British government's irrational policies at the moment. But what is the crux of this? What is the crux of the French youth's argument? Well, the French youth are a very well educated people. They stay into university until they're almost 26. So they come out with master's degrees. But this is a two-edged sword because they're being asked to delay entrance into the jobs market later and later, while they're not allowed to have job sharing schemes, which they do in Germany. And they're being restricted to a 35-hour week. They might want a 35-hour week, knowing that the French unions have gone on strike to gain a 35-hour week before. But they then realise now that they're going to have to be in work longer and longer, nearly 40 years, and then have no pension at the end of it. Why? Because the protection given by having a pension in France has been taken away by the French government, by Sarkozy, right? Whose parents, of course, were immigrants into France. And he's not French himself. He's the president of France. So then again, the case has been made for foreign-born residents being able to be presidents, as I made in with Arnold Schwarzenegger's case. Although in this case, I disagree with Sarkozy because you can't expect people to work 40 years and not have a pension. Instead, what Sarkozy is trying to do is to protect the baby boomer generation, who his Conservative Party gets most of its support from. Now, he's not conservative in the way that the Americans see conservatism. He is an authoritarian conservative. He's not for the same values as the US Constitution. He is what is called a Gaullist in France, which is quite close to being a Thatcherite in Britain. So you should have some wariness of sympathy for Sarkozy, because he is not trying to limit the state's power. He's trying to increase the state's power at the expense of the poor and the middle class, while enriching his own clique of friends around him. Now, these clique of friends mostly involve French senators who are connected to oil companies. There's been a big scandal with the BNP. That's the French oil company, and Elf, another French oil company, in not to be confused with the British National Party in Britain, who were giving out loans to and bribes, and also call girls and things to, and other worse things than that, to French senators. So they've got a massive problem with corruption. And so the French youth are being squeezed from every angle. So they've got to come up with something to do to get some attention. And what they're doing is that they want to have job sharing to share the wealth of the country. Now, France has got the third most millionaires in the world. It's also got a two-tier university system where there are elite universities and also public universities. And this is why there is this schism in French society between the very rich and the very poorest. The academy system, I believe it's called. Now, the French will go on strike. I believe strongly that they will, and that they will shut down the country. We may have to do the same thing in our own countries, in Britain and the United States, to get what we need: a final salary pension scheme, and also the right to work and to share jobs when people are getting into their elderly age. They cannot continue to have the youth not being in work and just in education while the older generation continues to work. And this may be the first age intergeneration conflict of the 21st century, what was predicted by H.G. Wells of world renowned. Thank you for listening, and I'll bring you some more news vids later on. You want to mess with us? We will simply shut down the whole fucking country. The whole of France we will shut down. N'est-ce pas? And that was my bit of French comedy. Thank you.